So this is a video about when you agree to a buddy read and you bite off more than what you can chew, really, and then you're committed to reading a 1,000-page book. Booker nominated, and very highly rated. But when a book's very highly rated and also very, very long, I think a lot of the people who got to the end have to give it 5 stars, just because otherwise they otherwise they've wasted 40 hours of their life. I keep thinking of all the other books I could be reading, but on the other hand, I feel like I need the full experience, and I'm not a quitter. So yeah, this is me reading Duck's Newburyport. Guys, I love eccentric novels, and I also love cake, but what I don't get is 2 whole pages listing various types of pudding. It's not art. It's not art. It's just like, and if you're trying to if a person's brain is trying to think of different types of pudding, there will be like sorts of pudding that like you don't just manage to reel off like 100 different types of cake that are all different. Your brain just keeps repeating. Like it'll land on sticky toffee maybe like about 1,000,000 times or something. That's just how the brain works. It repeats things. So it's not like an excellent kind of, what's that game, Categories, or On the Wheel with Michael McIntyre, where they're going around in a circle and they have to like list various types of cheese or whatever. Like ah. On the plus side, the lists aren't as bad as in House of Leaves. I'll give it that. Why am I doing this to myself? This is basically a list of creeks. And they're creeks that don't mean anything to me. Why am I reading this list of creeks? If I was naming creeks, or like small waterways, I'd probably get to about 3 and then think about something else. I think most people would. My goodness, you guys. This book. This book. Why am I even reading this book? So I probably, after the first 200 pages, I probably should have been like, this isn't gonna get any different. And then the next 200 pages were more or less the same, and the next 200 after that were more or less the same. There's 1,000 pages in total. I'm over 600 through. Most of the people I'm reading it with already have bailed. It's gonna end up just me, listening to this woman's dreams. I mean, the most boring thing in the world is probably listening to other people's dreams, and this woman has a lot of them. Occasionally you'll learn something new, but it really isn't worth the 600 pages it's taken to me. I mean, it was that saying, this should have been an email. This could have been an email. Yeah, obviously not in I mean, an email actually serves a purpose. Sorry, I shouldn't be so mean about this book. I mean, like, I can see why it's an interesting postmodern take. I can see why it's very much kind of rooted in Trump era and kind of all the things that people worry about, like global warming and things. It does have a certain dark humour and charm to it, but there is just far too much of it. And in order to be a clever stream of consciousness novel, for me it needs to have a little bit more happening for a start, because like I say, I mean, she's been to the dentist and that's about it, and I'm 600 pages in. Oh no, a couple of things did happen. But they would be spoilers, I think, so I'm going to keep that under my hat. Although maybe I can save you the effort of reading all 1,000 pages. And yeah, I just don't feel like the character's got a very consistent voice. I'm finding it very difficult to picture her. I'm finding it difficult to picture what she'd be like as a person. I know that some of my fellow buddy readers have a lot more positive things to say in that respect. They find her a lot more convincing. And like I say, some of the humor is, but it shouldn't take, like I say, it shouldn't be like one snigger every 50 pages. It's not exactly a comedy. And all the things that have kind of affected me emotionally have just been kind of listings of truly horrific things that have happened in American history, basically. Which is very, very, interesting to read about. I mean, I say interesting, kind of as in like it's a good thing to be aware of, the kind of violent history, but it is also quite heartbreaking. But again, it is stuff that, just do me some bullet points and I'll Wikipedia it, because there's not enough in-depth analysis or in-depth, and she tends to kind of, once she's mentioned something, she'll like allude back to it, but there's no further analysis or rumination. It's very much just one long running sentence, of vague thoughts flitting in and out of this lady's head, and a lot of making pies. I'm quite into pie, so from that point of view, there are no complaints. But I'm not. I've got another 400 pages to go, which is the equivalent of more than another book, and I just don't know if I'm going to make it to the end, guys. I just don't know if I'm going to make it to the end.